The summer of 1982 was really a hot one for rock. And which song stayed at number one for the entire month? Do you know? Do you know?
Kiki Classic Rock.
Hey guys, my name is Kiki, and if you are new to my channel, welcome. What I like to do is talk about anything and everything classic rock, and if you like classic rock just a little bit, with maybe some fun thrown in, please consider going ahead and hitting that subscribe button down below, as well as the like button, and of course, we cannot forget about the little red notification ding-dong bell, because that ding-dong bell, it's gonna alert you. You're gonna be alerted every single time I upload a new video, and that is just amazing. For those of you who are returning subscribers, I say thank you so much. Thank you for coming back, because I love you and I appreciate you. We're gonna go back to August of 1982 to actually see who dominated the Billboard Top 100 that month. In rock, of course. There are definitely a couple of songs that I have not heard in a super long time, maybe not since the summer of 1982. But let's go ahead, let's take a look back, and let's find out at the very end which song stayed at number one the entire month of August 1982. Let's go back. Let's go. Come on. What are we waiting for?
Hurt So Good, John Cougar.
This song was released in April of '82 and was written by John and his late childhood friend, George Green. Hurt So Good is off the album American Fool, which contained two other hits, Hand to Hold On To and Jack and Diane. John said a long time ago that he actually wrote this song as a joke because his friend George, the co-writer of the song, said, "Why don't you write a song called Hurt So Good?" John said he actually wrote this hit in about 3 minutes. Hurt So Good was actually John's breakthrough song, and thanks to MTV, they played it night and day, and it was just burned into your brain, and I think everyone was singing this song in their sleep. I was singing Hurt So Good in my sleep. Did you sing Hurt So Good in your sleep too? Hurt So Good peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, and because it was in the top 10 for 16 weeks, it had the honor of being on the top 10 for the longest in the 1980s. Good job, John Cougar / Mellencamp / JCM. That is John Cougar Mellencamp, but today he is John Mellencamp. Just JM. John Mellencamp, yeah.
Abracadabra, the Steve Miller Band.
May of 1982 is when this song came out, and it was the title track of the album with the same name. Steve has said that he had wrote this song because of Diana Ross. He had worked with Diana and the Supremes on the 1960s TV show called Hullabaloo. Hullabaloo was similar to American Bandstand, and years later, when Steve saw Diana Ross on the ski slopes, a whole bunch of years later, he turned around and wrote Abracadabra in 15 minutes. That is inspiration right there. Abracadabra was Miller's third number one. The other two were The Joker and Rockin' Me, and this was the last top 10 for the Steve Miller Band. If you remember the video to Abracadabra, you'll remember that there are really only a few shots of Steve throughout the whole thing, and that is because the day they shot the video, they shot this in one day, Steve was actually in Europe. And yes, this is another song that MTV played a lot. This song was number one for 2 non-consecutive weeks. Now, the first week, it was knocked off by Chicago's song Hard to Say I'm Sorry, but don't worry, it came back a couple of weeks later, shot right back up to number one, and it was like magic.
Hold Me, Fleetwood Mac.
Hold Me is from the Mac's 13th album, Mirage, and it came out in June of 1982. This was the first track to be released from that album, and surprisingly, Stevie was not on lead vocals. Christine McVie and Lindsey Buckingham were. McVie wrote Hold Me with songwriter Robbie Patton, who actually opened for the Mac on their tour in 1979. Even though Stevie Nicks was not on vocals for this one, she did appear in the video. This was a really crazy time. All of the members in the Mac were not getting along, and that's why you only see like 1 or 2 of them together at a time throughout the whole thing. Stevie said that when they shot this video, this was during the time that Mick hooked up with her best friend. Lindsay was still really hurt that him and Stevie had broken up. Christine stayed in the makeup trailer for hours at a time, and John was just plain angry. Fun times for everyone, but this is considered to be one of their better songs, and they did peak at number 4, and it stayed in the the top 10 for 7 weeks.
Eye of the Tiger, Survivor.
Yeah, this song really just made you feel like you could rule the world, and I do think that was the intent of this whole song, since it was the theme song for the movie Rocky III. The single was released a day after Rocky III came out, so if you were lucky enough to be at the premiere of the movie, you got to preview the song that would eventually dominate the 80s and beyond. The single for Eye of the Tiger was nominated for an Academy Award in 1982 for Best Original Song, but Up Where We Belong from the movie An Officer and a Gentleman took the top prize. And the following year, it also got the Grammy nod to perhaps take home the prize for Song of the Year, but Willie Nelson got it instead. Lead singer and Survivor founder Frankie Sullivan co-wrote the song with another founder of Survivor, Jim Petterick, who said that it was definitely pure collaboration between the two of them, who just got that song together piece by piece by piece. Sylvester Stallone loved the song when he first heard it, but he did offer some suggestions that he wanted to be changed before the final pressing. The band did listen and implemented the changes that Sylvester suggested, because come on, who is not gonna listen to Rocky Balboa?
Rosanna, Toto.
Rosanna was the first single to be released from Toto's album called Toto 4, and yeah, that's probably why they named it Toto 4, because it was their fourth release. That makes sense. The album was actually released on April 8th. The single was released a week earlier, and I truly think that the synthesizers in this song is what helped to make this such a stick-in-your-head tune. And the video? Yeah, let's talk about the video. Cynthia Rhodes, she plays Rosanna. She's dancing around, lifting her skirt up, twirling it around in a schoolyard, playground, whatever it is. And the band is behind the fence, like just smiling at Cynthia doing her girly twirly thing. And there is a quick, brief moment in time. The 4-minute, 24-second mark of this video is when you get a slight glimpse of the late and amazing Patrick Swayze. I just loved me some Patrick Swayze. I loved him. I did. The coincidental thing about Cynthia Rhodes and Patrick Swayze being in this video together is that 5 years later, in 1987, we would see them together in a big, ginormous way on the big screen in the movie that is still fantastical today, Dirty Dancing. David Paich wrote Rosanna. He said it was about his high school sweetheart, but his buddy Steve Porcaro was dating Rosanna Arquette at the time, so everyone was convinced the song was about her.
Take it away, Paul McCartney.
I know, I'm sorry, but I completely forgot about this song, but I'm so happy that I have found it again. The 7-inch single of this song was released on June 21st of 1982, and the 12-inch came out just a few weeks later in July. This was definitely, I think, a fun time in music when you could go ahead, go to record stores, and search for the 12-inch single of one of your favorite songs. Tug of War, the album that this song was on, was Paul's third solo album, and the first after Wings broke up a year before. Take It Away sold millions and millions of copies and actually brought Paul back to the good graces of critics. How could Paul not be in the good graces of critics? But there was that time that happened. I loved Wings. Jet, Band on the Run, they were great. Paul did actually bring in the fifth Beatle, the late George Martin, to produce the album Tug of War, which is probably part of the reason why the album had so much success. Paul's late wife, Linda, is in the video, as well as Ringo Starr, who did play drums. This song only peaked at number 10, but there was another song on the album that was a humongous hit, Ebony and Ivory with Stevie Wonder, and that stayed at number 1 for 7 weeks.
Don't You Want Me, Human League.
Don't you want me, baby? November 27th of 1981 was actually when Don't You Want Me was released, but it didn't get to number 1 in the US until the following May of 82. When this song came out, it was completely kicking butt in the UK, but it took a little while to snag its way into the US. Human League was formed in 77, got signed to Virgin Records in 79, and released their third album called Dare in 81. Philip Oakey, lead singer of the Human League, got inspired to write this song from the movie A Star Is Born, and obviously it was was the Barbra Streisand, Chris Christopherson version. Because Lady Gaga, was she born then? Yeah. No? I don't think so. Steve Barron directed the video. He also directed Dire Straits' Money for Nothing and a-ha's Take on Me. And if you recall, this video, it was very stoic. Like, everyone just looked and stared. Not much facial expression at all. But over 129 million views later on YouTube, people like stoic.
Keep the fire burning, REO Speedwagon.
This song stayed at #1 for 3 weeks, and still, to this day, makes us happy. Keep the Fire Burnin' is off the Speedwagon's 10th album called Good Trouble, which was the follow-up to their previous album, High Infidelity. This was the only song out of all 10 tracks on this album to hit the charts, and it did peak at #7. Kevin Cronin did write this song, and it was after their hugely successful album of High Infidelity that this came out. So these guys were on a true high. Cronin has said that this wasn't his favorite album to make, and REO doesn't play any of these songs in concert. Crazy! Before everything in the world happened, the REO guys were touring non-stop, and I gotta tell you, the energy that they bring to the stage is undeniably contagious. I cannot wait to see them out there again. Hopefully soon. The last set of lyrics in this song I think are perfect for what we're going through today. And let us not stop learning. Let's help one another be strong. Let us never lose our yearning to keep the fire burning all night long. Words to live by. So which song out of this list that I just gave you guys stayed at #1 the entire month of August 1982? If you guessed Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, you are absolutely, positively, undeniably 100% correctamundo. Woohoo! Go Survivor! Yeah! Hopefully you enjoyed taking this trip back to August of 1982, and maybe you learned about a couple of songs that you haven't heard since then. If you love music like me, please go ahead and check out one of these videos coming up next. Be happy, be safe, and always remember to keep rocking.